Hello, YouTube. It is me, John Avenger, once again, and uh, I know by now it's Columbus Day, so happy Columbus Day to you all that live in the U.S. Because as I'm recording this, it's already 1 o'clock. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, and here in the U.S. in the Eastern Standard Time. So happy Columbus Day, and to all you Canadians, happy Thanksgiving, because I know you celebrated a month early. Now we're going back to Horrorfest. This is not a horror movie, but it has horror elements. It's a 2010 movie based on a children's book that I saw in the theater and I was very surprised with. I think this is a fun movie. I like the sequel as well. Come at me, haters. I don't give a shit what you think. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I never read the books, first of all, and second of all, I thought this movie, for what it was, a PG movie in 2010, could have been a lot worse. Now, I saw this film in the theater in February of 2010. I didn't pay for it. I just saw it for free, but it was still a fun movie. Like, it has a great cast. This cast really works. I don't think they steal from the Harry Potter cast, because I didn't see those movies until like this year. And Logan Lerman, great freaking lead as Percy Jackson. I bought him as a lead character. His journey is more interesting than your freaking precious hobo. I'm sorry to say that, because he doesn't just have these powers out of nowhere. They explain that he's the son of Poseidon and he kicks ass, and he slowly learns his powers. He doesn't just have these water bending powers for out of, and shooting, hitting this guy with a freaking, a Triton for out of nowhere. No, it's gradual. He starts as a normal kid, and then he starts seeing all this imagery of all this Greek, mythology, all these creatures and all these people that like centaurs and whatchamacallit, his friend is a satyr. He's half man and half goat, played by Brandon T. Jackson. People remember him from Tropic Thunder. He was the black guy in that movie. You have Alexandra Daddario. This is her in a movie that did well compared to this year's Baywatch, which she's beautiful in the movie. I liked her in the trailers, but that movie flopped. Here, this was a success, surprisingly. You also have Sean Bean. He's one of the Olympians in the film. Steve Coogan, he does a great job playing Hades in his human form. I think he's a good actor. See, I don't hate every Brit. There has to be a reason. And Coogan doesn't have he has a good voice and his face doesn't bother me. Unlike some people. Winkety wink wink. You also have Rosario Dawson. She's very sexy in this movie in the underworld. You have Katherine Keener, who plays Percy Jackson's mother, his human mother on Earth. She does a good job. I've always liked her. I respect her as an actress. You got Pierce Brosnan as the centaur. He's a teacher that shows it. He's like, now I'm a real horse's ass. Yeah, that was pretty funny. You also have Kevin McKidd. He's in the movie. He's one of the. I think he plays Percy's dad, I believe, or no. No, he's in the movie, but yeah, I remember him from the film. I don't remember which role he played, but I did like him in the film. Kevin McKidd. He's reliable. He's right here. Um, you also have a lot of like cameos from other actors as well, but it's a great Joe Pantoliano. He plays his adopted father. I remember him. He's the one that gets a beer from and he's like, he's not my son. He's just my stepson or whatever. And you got Uma Thurman, who plays a Medusa. And this is a way better performance than her performance in freaking Batman and Robin. It's more subtle. It's not cartoonish. And the CG looks great. The creatures, that's why I'm reviewing this, look fantastic. You have, I think, a Minotaur that attacks them in the beginning of the movie. And before they go to the portal and everything, it's hard to explain because I never read the books. And there's a giant freaking uh, Hydra, which looks amazing. It's basically this black. They're looking for these little balls that they have to collect in order to get to Hades and stop all the things that's happening. So he can get his mother back because she's taken from him. And I thought the story was intriguing for a kids movie. And also, like I said, the Hydras appear. They're massive freaking heads, and the fire that blows on them. It's a scene I think in the museum, and it looks pretty awesome. And then when they chop the head off, it's like, ha ha, we killed the creature, yeah. And then Alexander Daddario is like, no, you just made things worse because then the heads start growing, and it's like in Hercules from the Disney version of Hercules, when all the heads, one head gets cut off and two replace them, just like in Hydra in the MCU films. And the film overall, I like the tone. It has a sense of humor. Brandon T. Jackson, yes, he's the comic relief, but he's funny. I like him as a character. His character in the movie. Excuse what I'm saying. I'm really tired, so I'm doing this review late. And it's a fun movie. Like, it's almost 2 hours long, but I didn't feel it. It's basically like, this is how you do Clash of the Titans right. Because I did not give a shit about the remake that came out the same year as this. A month after this, I saw the trailer and I cringed because I love the original Clash of the Titans, and that remake just, it looked nothing like it. This is like a Clash of the Titans for kids. Great effects, a good cast, good dialogue with the characters. This is when he has the pen. He's like, "This is a pen. This is a pen." And I like that scene. Logan Lerman, he would have been a nice Spider-Man, instead of Andrew Garfield. I think he would have done much better. He has these blue eyes. He's very handsome. I know my friend likes the movie Perks of Being a Wallflower. I want to see it because of him and Ezra Miller, because he's in the film as well, and he's going to be Flash in Justice League. Which, sorry, Parker, I'm not seeing the trailer because I'm looking forward to the movie. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm seeing that movie for me, not for Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or anybody on YouTube. Sorry. But anyway, back to Percy Jackson. I like the scene where they go to the casinos, like Las Vegas. May the people that died rest in peace, and I hope that situation gets resolved. They eat like these lotus flowers that these girls give them, and they're like high, and they're just trying to have fun. And then days go by, and they're not looking for the little blue balls to get to, so he could find his mother again. And it's interesting. It's basically a drug reference, like a hallucinogen where it makes them see things, and thinking that, oh, time is just going by like it's hours, and no, it's actually days. And Percy, his journey is interesting, just like Harry Potter. He starts as kind of a wimpy kid that doesn't know, like he's just a normal average teenager, and then later on he becomes a strong character. He has a sword, he fights, he becomes a badass, and it's not forced on your face. And unlike the new Star Wars, yeah, where your lead character has to be freaking a superpowered, all can do everything freaking Mary Sue that doesn't give a shit about anybody but herself. Guess what? This character is caring. He's sympathetic. He's human. Human, freaking Daisy Ridley and freaking Lawrence Kasdan and J.J. Abrams. Human. A human being. Not a supernatural, I can do everything and I'm God. No, fuck you. This is how you do it right. This is how you make a human character that has powers, and you develop them throughout the freaking movie. And he's likable. He cares about his friends. He has a journey that's interesting. It's not that long. It's under 2 hours, and I didn't feel it. The special effects work. The film's tone works. It never gets too dark. It never gets too bloody. It doesn't have a freaking city destroying scene. You know what I'm talking about. But, it is flawed. Like I said, some of the characters get underused. Like Pierce Brosnan's only in a couple scenes. Kevin McKidd's only in a couple scenes. And also whatchamacallit, Joe Pantoliano's only in a couple scenes. But it reminded me of Clash of the Titans. If you did a Clash of the Titans movie for kids from the 80s, this is it. I never saw that. The only thing that's similar to Harry Potter in this movie, besides the three main characters are best friends, is the production value. Like some of the sets and the scenery kind of looks like Harry Potter, but it didn't remind me of it. And it's its own story. It's fun. It's fast paced. It doesn't take an hour for something to happen. And like I said, the journey is worth taking in this movie. I never read the books. If Percy's as likable here as he is in the books, I'll read the books. All of them. I'd rather read those books than any of this fan fiction bullshit Disney Wars that, oh, you gotta read the books to know more about Finn and Rey. I don't care. Okay? Suck it. Jerk it off your face, Disney. Take your billions of dollars and shove it. I'd rather watch this movie again. This is a much better movie than The Force Awakens. It's not as boring as freaking Rogue One with its bad CGI, with bad CG faces that look like shit. Here, there's practical and there's good CGI creature effects with the freaking Hydras and the Minotaur and the Medusa and the Hellhounds, the Cerberus in the underworld, and even those old ladies, that old man or whatever that he gives the coins to so that they can cross over the river. It's interesting. it sucked me in. I was in this magical world, this fantasy world that works. Yeah, it's more fantasy and action and adventure than a horror film, but it has creatures in it, so it counts. And yes, I do like the sequel, and I'm going to review that next time. But the first Percy Jackson movie is really good. For a kids movie, this is not PG-13 or R. It's PG, but they do something with it, and it works. And it's one of the rare PG movies that's not animated, so I appreciate that. And like I said, the hero's journey is not rushed. It's done well, incredibly well, and the tone is consistent. It doesn't have like a dark tone where, oh, something dark happens and then it's funny and then it's dark and then it's funny. No, this film knows what it is. It ran with it. It was a huge success. And then it spawned a sequel, which I really enjoy. I wish there was a third movie. I would have loved to see Logan Lerman play this character again. If they ever do a TV show or a third movie or reboot, take notes from this movie. Don't make it too bloody that they're chopping people's heads off and there's blood. That's not what Percy Jackson's about. It's about, wonder and freaking he's in a world he doesn't understand and all these things that are happening. I forgot to mention Jake Abel. He's the son. He looks like the Miz from WWE. He's like, oh, tell my father I hope you kick his ass. He's basically a villain. He becomes a villain in the sequel. But I didn't mind him in the film. He's kind of underused, but he's in the sequel more. So I forgot to mention him. I wanted to just give a shout out to him because he's a decent actor. He was not the problem with the host. It was the shitty script. But Percy Jackson, if you want to see a movie during the holidays of Halloween with creatures and it's not really horror, but it has horror elements, this is a fun watch, and so is Sea of Monsters. They're not terrible films. Believe me, I've seen way worse. And it never got boring. It's 118 minutes, but it goes by quick. It doesn't feel like it takes too long. And for the Greek mythology that they did, it's a lot of fun. It was Thor before, a year before Thor, and it's a Clash of the Titans movie done right for kids, without the nudity of the original and without that horrible CG of giant freaking like the Kraken. I'm like, yeah, that just looks way too big, and just and bad 3D effects as well. But here, I'm glad this movie did well. I'm glad it was it was a franchise that didn't flop on its way, and a likable lead, likable cast, good story, fun movie. That's all I can say about Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and the lightning thief, which the lightning bolt becomes a a plot device in the movie, but it's done right. Unlike Luke's lightsaber, which he was supposed to lose in Empire. You freaking dumbasses. But anyway, this movie's awesome. You can show your kids this. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I'm really tired, so I'm going to do my next video tomorrow. Have a good Columbus Day, good Thanksgiving in Canada, and I will see you guys in the next video.